Good morning, everyone. This is Honor Rana here, your social science teacher from Cambridge International School, the SUA. I welcome you all in today's session. I hope you all are happy, healthy, safe at your home, and all of you are doing well in your studies as well as in other co curricular activities. So, dear children, earlier we were discussing about History Chapter 8, that is Vital Villages and Thriving Towns. And today we are going to start our new chapter, that is chapter 9 of history, traders, kings and pilgrims. So first of all, we will discuss the lessons objectives. The lessons objectives are to know the traders, to know about the new kingdoms near the coast, to know about the Silk Route, and to know about the spread of Buddhism. Lessons outcomes. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to know about the traders. They will also come to know about the new kingdoms near the coast. They will also come to know about the Silk Route. And at the end, they will come to know about the spread of Buddhism. So, dear children, this lesson starts with the first topic, that is how to find about trade and traders. So as you are able to see, there is one image on your screen, and this is one of the example of northern black polished ware. This we have discussed in the previous chapter, that is NBPW. These were the bowls and the plates which were found from several archaeological sites throughout the subcontinent. And how do you think it reached these places? Traders may have carried them from the places where they were made to sell them at the other places, and in this way they reached to the different parts of the subcontinent. Then you will come to know that the South India, it was very famous for the trade in the different things such as gold, spices, especially black pepper and the precious stones. And this black pepper, it was very much admired in the Roman Empire, and it was called as black gold. And as you can see on your screen also, trade is done through the sea routes as well as by the land through caravans. How do we came to know that the Indian subcontinent have trade relations with the Roman Empire? We came to know that the Indian subcontinent have trade relations with the Roman Empire with the help of the Roman gold coins that have been found in the South India. And it shows that quite a lot of trade took place between them. Traders explored several sea routes, and sailors, they took advantage of the monsoon winds to cross the seas more quickly. So if they wanted to reach the western coast of the subcontinent from East Africa or Arabia, they chose to sail with the southwest monsoon. Now come to our new topic, that is new kingdoms along the coast. Here we are talking about the coastal area, especially the southern India. So Kaveri is a river, and this river valley, it was the most fertile river valley, and there were some chiefs and some kings who controlled the river valleys, and they became rich and powerful. Same we are going to discuss about the three rulers, three chiefs. They are the Cholas, Sheras and Pandyas. These three chiefs, they were called as Muvendar. Muvendar is a Tamil word for these three chiefs. You can see here in this image also, this is the image map of the southern India. And you can see here, these three kingdoms, they flourished there. Sheras, Cholas and Pandyas. They become powerful in South India around 2300 years ago. And each of these three chiefs had two centers of power, one inland and one on the coast. And total these were the 6 cities which were very important. And out of these 6 cities, the two, they became very important. One is Puhar, The other name for Puhar is the Kaveri Patnam. It is the port of the Cholas. And second is the Madurai. Madurai, it was the capital of the Pandyas. So as I have shown you the map also, so it can be clear from there. How did the chief get the resources? The chief did not collect regular taxes. Instead, they demanded and received gifts from the people. They also went on military expeditions and collected tribute from the neighboring areas. So these expeditions as well as the tribute, from there they were getting their resources. Around 200 years later, Satvahana became powerful in western India. And the most important ruler of the Satvahana was the Gautami Putra Shri Satkarni. He and the other Satvahana rulers were known as Lords of Dakshin Patha. Dakshin Patha literally means the route leading to the south, which was also used as a name for the entire southern region. He sent his army to the eastern, western and the southern coast. Okay, now your next topic is Silk Route, the story of the Silk Route. So first of all, let's discuss about the silk. Silk, the rich glossy colors of silk as well as a smooth texture make it a highly valued fabric in the most societies. The technique of making silk were first invented in China around 7,000 years ago, but they kept it as a secret for many years. And how to make silk? These things are discussed in your science lessons also. So making silk is a complicated process. Raw silk has to be extracted from the cocoons of silkworms, spun into thread and then woven into cloth. As it is clear from these two pictures which are shown on your screen. So Chinese traders went to distant lands on foot, horseback and on camels, carried silk with them. Okay, again I am repeating, Chinese traders, they went to the distant lands on foot, horseback and on camels, and they carried silk with them. And the path which they follow to trade silk, that is known as the Silk Route. Okay, the path followed by the Chinese traders to trade their silk, that is known as the Silk Route. So some kings tried to control large portion of the route because they could benefit from taxes, tributes and gifts that were brought by traders traveling along the route. And in return, they often protected the traders who passed through their kingdoms from attack by the robbers. Let me explain it again. There were many rulers, there were many kings who want to control this Silk Route. Okay, and why they were controlling it? Because by controlling it, they can get the taxes, tributes and gifts from the merchant. Okay, and what they will give them in return? In return, they will provide them, they will protect them from the robbers. Okay, and the best known of the rulers who controlled the Silk Route were the Kushanas, who ruled over Central Asia and Northwest India around 2000 years ago. The next topic which we have to discuss, that is Buddhism. Buddhism we have discussed in the previous chapters also. Lord Buddha, he was the founder of Buddhism. We have also discussed about the teachings of Buddhism. And here we are going to discuss about the two forms of Buddhism. Two forms means the followers of Buddhism. Okay, like earlier it was a Theravada Buddhism, then the new form originated, that is known as the Mahayana Buddhism. So there were the two forms of Buddhism, one is Mahayana Buddhism and second is Theravada Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism is the oldest form of Buddhism, and in it the presence of Buddha was shown in sculpture by using certain signs. For example, his attainment of enlightenment was shown by sculpture of the peepal tree. In this Buddhism, they were not using any statue or any image of Buddha to show its presence. It is shown by using some some other signs and symbols. Okay, and it spread southeastwards to Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and other parts of Southeast Asia, including Indonesia. The new form of Buddhism is Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism is the new form of Buddhism, and in it the presence of Buddha was shown in sculpture by the statues. The next concept is Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas were the followers of Buddha who have attained enlightenment. The worship of Bodhisattvas became very popular and spread throughout Central Asia, China, and later to Korea and Japan. Again, I am repeating, Bodhisattvas were the followers of Buddha who have attained enlightenment. The worship of Bodhisattva, it became very popular and spread throughout Central Asia, China, and later to Korea and Japan. So dear children, today we have discussed about the trade and the traders. We have also discussed about the new kingdoms which were emerged near the coast. We have also discussed the story of the Silk Route, and at last we have discussed about the spread of Buddhism, in which we have discussed the two forms, Mahayana Buddhism and the Theravada Buddhism. I hope these topics are clear to you. Just do the reading of the chapter, and whatever doubts you have, that we are going to discuss in the online classes. Thank you all. Have a nice day.